Body bags where horror lies.
Anyways, I watched a controversial film last night from pretty much the most polarizing director of our age. And that, of course, is Rob Zombie and his most recent film, 31. That's in recently added to Redbox. If y'all are interested, go check it out. Basically, basically 5 carnival workers and maybe some of their love interests / significant others are traveling together in a van. And that's basically a very simple plot for the most part in this one. We've followed following this group of carnival workers. Of course, one of them featuring Sherry Zombie. And yeah, anyways, they go to a local gas station and end up getting attacked by some masked people and abducted, and then they wake up in this strange forbidden compound where they meet Malcolm McDowell doing one of his strangest performances. I won't give that away, at least in Rob Zombie's movies. And basically Malcolm McDowell's sinister game he likes to play with contestants. Basically a survival horror game almost. Stuff like Battle Royale or a movie like that, maybe even a Death Race 2000 kind of things, mixed in with elements of survival horror and old school, older torture porn, which fits our last week's theme of body bags. So that's the basic plot and rundown in this one. I'll just say up front, I don't understand the amount of hate for this movie. Yes, this is far from Rob Zombie's best film. It's still very quality, and I was highly entertained by it. Of course, killer soundtrack, as usual. Rob Zombie does it that way, and has this typical style in video. There's a thing about Rob Zombie movies that I do respect about him. You can almost smell his movies. Everything looks so dirty and disgusting. And he just has a way of really just murking up the place. Just this murky filter. It almost looks like even the lens and everything looks like it's dirty. Like, I don't know. I do appreciate that though. He has that certain style to his films. Of course, Meg Foster. You have some of his returning characters he likes to use in some of his recent horror movies. Now, some of the performances by the clowns I thought were phenomenal, especially the main one, Doomhead, and I forgot the name of the little person. He's the first clown you see. He did a really good job. I was like, seriously, the clowns really stole the show for me in this movie. But you know, very solid stuff overall. As I said, the score and the soundtrack's solid. The score itself is really good, done by John Five. Big fan of his stuff. Really just spooky, kind of almost throwback kind of sounds. Really reminds me of kind of an 80s horror film, and some of the score cues on this is really cool. This is just his most action-packed. It's definitely a very different film, even though it has the stylized look of Rob Zombie. I think it is kind of his most different film. But I do like that. It's still his sense of kind of fucked up and dirty-minded humor is in play here. Maybe even more so than the others. Some of the dialogue I thought was semi-questionable. But there again, a lot of it was very entertaining. Ross, the character in there. And some of their interactions were very hilarious, but yeah, and it just has that dark sense to it, really sadistic kind of, just definitely doesn't have it just spread it out with misery the whole movie. So as I said, I really don't see the hate on this one. This is still, to me, Rob Zombie's still a master of horror and still putting out quality stuff. I would like to see an unrated director's cut of this. See what the censors really neutered this one. You know, I might even like this movie more than I did. Now, one of the main complaints I've heard a lot of people make, I do have as well, and that is some of the shaky camera. It doesn't bother me as much because the places it's used are fitting, I do believe. Maybe just the execution of that shaky camera is just a touch too much. It really was almost nauseating in a couple of scenes. But as I said, it's really not just shaky cam the whole movie, and it really just it's good. It's well timed. The shaky camera. It's really in a kind of maniacal, really intense moments. Basically, really action-packed interactions. It's really amps up the shakiness. So to me, that fits and works, guys. It's not the visual masterpiece that Lords of Salem was, in my opinion. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit, maybe addition to the atmosphere, kind of the lighting and stuff on some of that stuff. And not, like I said, his use of color and just kind of had this grand scale, this almost overwhelming visual presentation of Lords of Salem that I really loved. He really toned that back for this one, and to me, it's like if he was doing a Lords of Salem and then threw in elements of Devil's Rejects, like I said, add in some Battle Royale. That's basically what he's trying to do here, I think. But overall, I think I'd give this one like a 7.5 out of 10. Really quality stuff. Not quite perfection. Some of the pacing and stuff is maybe semi-questionable. But I thought acting from all of the, especially the villains in this movie, was very well done. Good performances. Of course, another killer soundtrack. It's just a quality Rob Zombie film, in my opinion. It's another good one to add to his catalog. I don't think he has any reason not to be proud of this one. But that's just my opinion personally, guys. Feel free to debate and give your comments below, that kind of stuff. And as always, I appreciate y'all watching. Until next week.
Peace.